Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. This might be more of a mini episode. I'm not sure how this thing's going to shape up. It's going to be interesting. We're doing sort of an emergency episode. I'm not sure what you'd call it. But we're here and we're talking with two folks today from AB Resistance because they've got some stuff going on. They've got an event coming up in the Calgary area. I believe it's this weekend for anybody who's interested. It's the 26th. We're recording this on the 21st, just in case the comet falls out of the sky or something and surprises happen. But very excited to welcome to the program tonight two of the head honchos, the key organizers, the big deals behind the AB Resistance, or as I've been told to refer to them going forward, ABR. Very excited to welcome to the program for the first time, Marg Toker. And
Thanks for having us.
I think the second or third time, I don't even know. Welcome back to Real Talk with Ryan. No, wait. Welcome back to Breakdown, David Gray.
Good to see you, Ryan.
See, that's an inside joke from Ryan's first appearance on the show, or sort of David's first appearance on the show, where he called me Ryan Jesperson.
Okay,
I was very apologetic about it for a while.
I know, but I can get mileage out of this. I can get good quality mileage out of this. I mean, and I don't think anyone would ever mistake me for Mr. Jesperson because Danielle Smith won't come on my show. But not at all what we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight we're here to talk about this kickoff event. Marg, you wanna tap in and tell me what's let's dial it back for a sec before we get into what the event is. What is the AB Resistance or ABR?
ABR is a grassroots group, and I mean really grassroots of Albertans who have gotten together, who are working to get valid information out to people, who have a plan going forward, to not just email and phone calls and on and on and on. I heard you speaking with Mike Parker about that last night. And we are trying to get the message out that you do have options and you're not alone out there. We're here.
So, I mean, you kind of opened up the door for me. I'm going to walk through it. We talked about, you're right. We did have a conversation here on the show with Mr. Mike Parker, a president of the HSAA, and part of that conversation was about the fact that how do you deal with a government that doesn't seem to be willing and or capable of dealing in good faith? You say you've got a strategy. What's the strategy, Marg?
Well, we are going to inform Albertans that they have a choice. That there is one option for dealing with this government. And you're correct. This government has no intention of listening to Albertans. I think it's been proven over and over and over again. And that is through the recall.
The recall legislation brought in by, ironically enough, the UCP, Mr. Kenney. Is that what we're talking about here?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you see that working? Because I mean, I have to play devil's advocate here because it's what my job is. But how do you see that working? I mean, the current recall legislation, there's certainly some policy proposals in front of the UCP AGM coming up in a week and a half, give or take, that would make it easier, ironically enough, to pull the trigger on recall. Mm-hmm. But the current recall legislation, a lot of people, myself included, have criticized it as being very difficult to attain. So how do you see ABR navigating that?
So maybe I'll pipe in at this point because there's a lot of legal stuff around the recall initiatives that, as you pointed out, are very difficult to meet. Having said that, we ourselves aren't intending to meet them. We've taken the step of becoming a third-party advertiser for political advertising. So to get to your other question, really that's the culmination of trying to bring heat and put it on this government, which is something that we can do as third-party advertisers. We can stage events, we can raise funds to stage those events, we can do actual advertising, and I'm hoping that we can get to that point where you maybe see us on TV. I don't know if at the same very expensive time slots that the UCP buys for their, their ads, but we are different than a political party, but we can be politically active. And the end point of all of this is to bring as many people's attention to the fact that this is just a terrible, terrible government, and that they need to speak up if they don't want to put up with it, and get out there and be active if they don't want to put up with it. That we hope will get us to a better place where our politics are more normal, our concerns are more normal, and we're not torn apart as communities by politics. So those are key elements of the strategic plan, is to get us to a place where we're together again as Albertans, even if it's just to have common cause to make this government either change or go away.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand this correctly. The value proposition, if you will, is that the ABR folks are not so much organizing the recall effort. They're providing information and encouraging people to pursue that. Am I getting that right? Because that's kind of what.
Yeah, we can help people with all the steps to get to where someone within the boundaries of any given riding that feel they have cause to ask for a recall of their MLA are knowledgeable and organized to be able to do that. We have limits on what we can do in terms of spending on any given recall campaign as a third-party advertiser, but working within those limits, we can be as helpful as possible to anyone who wants to take that on in their riding.
Okay, Marg, you looked like you were going to say something there.
I think our most important goal is to bring people together under one umbrella, because as one, we have so many groups scattered all over Alberta that really do have the same goal that we have. And that at this point in time, we're looking at, the unions, the environment groups, there's so many.
Pension
and if we
groups.
could just pull them together, that's what that would be, I think, our number one goal, is to get people together. Once we have all of those people, or if we can get all of those people under one umbrella, that gives access to volunteers for all of those, for any area that sees themselves as an area that can and wants to set up a recall and recall their MLA. And that's the most valuable resource that we're thinking that we can provide. That would be the number one thing that we could provide, because it's going to take people. When I started this, that was my rant over and over again, was that this is going to be tough, but with participation, it's doable. We have to have the people to do it.
And what we can offer those other groups as a third-party advertiser are resources and organization that they on their own might not be able to muster.
Right.
So yeah, we don't need to take over people's organizations. We're there to help them. So if there are people in the medical side, for example, we can help them get the message out by building up not only the accounts and reach that we already have, but by spending money on improving that reach. And that's the very difficult thing. You can only spend $1,000 in Alberta without being declared as an advertiser. So it doesn't take very long to burn through $1,000.
No, certainly not with any kind of meaningful advertising campaign.
No.
So if I understand correctly, I'm just going to reframe this one more time. If I understand correctly, the primary goal of ABR is to sort of be a kind of nonpartisan, but still partisan because unhappy with the UCP hub, where people who have a variety of different issues that they're passionate about, whether or not we're talking about coal mining in the Crow's Nest Pass, whether or not we're talking about a train to Banff, or horrifying anti-trans policies, or I mean the list of
All of
things
them.
that
The list
people
goes
can
on.
be against in the province of Alberta currently is not short, but it's a place where all of those people can get together and find friends, if you will, that they can use as force multipliers for their own causes. Did I get it that right that time?
Yes, I
For
would say
their
that's
own
a good way to
causes
put it.
and for ours.
Yeah.
Okay. So third time's a charm. Yay me. Um, Marg, you've got this event coming on. Um, what's the deal there?
We have set up an event in Calgary at the Carriage House Inn on Saturday, October 26th. We will have speakers from noon to 5:30, and then there's a dinner break from 5:30 to 7, from 7 to 11, social mixer. So we're looking to get people in, inform people, get information to them, see if we can get more people on board with us, and have a little fun.
Nothing wrong with that. And I got to do
No,
a full disclosure piece here because the you folks reached out to me a little while ago and asked if I would be willing to, I don't know, rant or something for a half
bet.
hour or so. So I will be speaking at this event. I haven't exactly nailed down you gave me like the broad topic of policy. And so,
I
oh
think,
boy.
Nate, you just do what you do.
See, I can kill a half an hour just ranting and
There we
being,
go.
I mean,
If
half
you can
an hour
get, I
for
mean, you get so much information out, and that's what's important to people too. It still amazes me sometimes how much people don't know, are completely unaware of. We do have people right now that are canvassing in Calgary, and what they are doing is going door to door and just hearing people out, hearing about their issues, what they're concerned about, and letting them know that we are here. So that's and we are finding that people just, they don't know. Even our membership. A few months ago I put out a 60-point list of UCP actions that had damaged Albertans. And I got so many emails, even from our own membership, that we try to keep informed, that said, this can't be. This can't all be true. This is all true. And we've added to that list. We will be handing out a much larger list at our event on Saturday. Yeah,
wait,
but
wait
people
till
don't know.
Sunday because we're gonna break you on Sunday. For everybody who's like, this can't be real. Um, it's so much worse, and we're pulling the trigger on our storytelling cover. I don't know what
And
to call
yeah, we're looking forward to that, and maybe might be a few hints or clues thrown out at our event. Not breaking the story, but you know,
it. Maybe there could be an early preview, some hints. We'll see. Uh,
Maybe Maybe do it in song.
You,
Ah, oh, that
uh,
would be
if
great.
if I were to do it in song, it would just be a long string of profanity. So
All
I don't
right.
think anybody necessarily wants to hear that. What do people need to know about the event? If people want to go to the event, Mark, what do they need to do? Do they need to buy tickets? Do they just show up?
we
Um,
okay, we've got our posters out there. We've got on all our SM sites. I have sent posters out to different groups, different unions that have actually asked for them. And we do have a QR code. You can RSVP if you wish. And that would be the most efficient thing for us. But we welcome all. Walk in the door. And yeah, just walk in the door.
Saturday
We're
starting at
there.
1 p.m. Am I right?
Noon.
Starting at noon, Saturday at the Carriage House Inn, 9920 McLeod Trail South.
Yes. And we will go till 5:30. We have a great lineup of speakers. We're really really happy with that. We've had people come forward and offer their services, their expertise, and it should be a really great afternoon, informative afternoon. We also have it set up so that we'll have our speaker, and then we will have a Q&A, which I think is a very important aspect of that, of any any representation from any of these speakers and their particular subjects. So
Well,
people
let's
will be
not
able to.
forget the we're also having a separate leadership review that people can participate
Oh,
in for fun.
thanks,
I
Dave.
want to talk about that.
Okay.
That's on my little list over here. But
Yeah.
we do. I want to. Can you tip that? Who do you? I mean, obviously we know one of the speakers, but who else do you have for speakers? Because I know some of the names that are on that list, and I'm excited to just hear. There's like two in particular that I'm super stoked to hear speak. But
Oh,
who do y'all have?
I have my list here. We have for healthcare, we have Dr. David Swan, and I'll go back to that. In environment, water, we have Jenny Yeremy, who is also very well known
Hmm.
and does a lot of work. Uh, for the CPP, we have Bob Aska. For Enviro Renewables, we have Roger Gagne, who is a climate activist. Uh, for EMS, right down your lane there, we have Allie Morrison. Allie Morrison is another tireless worker. Oil and gas, we have Mark Doran, and anyone on X is probably familiar with Mark Doran. We have a youth speaker, Hannah Barron. We have Dr. Victoria Buchholz or Karl Marx, who will speak. She'll represent the trans community, and that's going to be a very important um, speech. And right now, as to with everything that's going on, especially in the last week of October with the pronouns and everything else that will be legislated. So that should be a great thing. And in education, we have Dr. Carla Peck. And I'm
I
sure
mean,
you're familiar with her also, Nate.
I know her a little bit.
Yeah.
That I mean, here's the thing. You got quite the mix going on there because you've got
Mm-hmm.
Dr. David Swan, who I believe was the former leader of the Alberta Liberals, and unless I'm very much mistaken, he was the last elected Alberta Liberal to sit in the legislature. Jenny Yeremy, former Alberta Party candidate. Bob Aska is when it comes to economics, we've had him on the show. He's amazing. And I think he's a very, very good speaker. I'm not going to lie though, the two that I'm most excited for, Carla Peck is always fantastic. I mean, she's an educator by trade, so she's a very, very, very good speaker. I am so stoked, though.
I know who you're going to say.
Well, yeah, Dr. Victoria Buchholz.
Mhm.
Uh, she is um, she's able to walk the line. I think probably because she comes from a background in stand-up comedy, so there's that immediate affinity. But she's able to walk a very, very fine line between incredibly heavy subject matter and the driest and most acerbic of wits. If we could get her on the writing staff here, I would be on cloud nine. So I'm really, really looking forward to having to listening to her because she's so good.
Yeah, I did see the show where you interviewed her. And truth be told, I myself learned from her. So yeah, that was a great show.
You get her started on German military history, and
I
you're
know.
gonna learn and then some.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What one thing I wanted to, as I said, go back to was we have Dr. David Swan representing healthcare, and we are so grateful to have him. What we found in trying to find someone in a doctor in healthcare to speak is that the majority of them feel that their hands are really tied as far as speaking publicly. And that's, it's a sad thing, it really is.
yeah. It's I know of friends of mine who are physicians who have had this government go after them through the college for being unprofessionally outspoken, um, which pretty much sums up this administration, doesn't it?
Wait,
It
I thought it
does.
was only the left that weaponized professional colleges. The right does it? Shocked expression?
Oh, the right really does it. Yes. It was difficult. I mean, I don't know a lot of doctors personally, but I've interacted a lot with online, with through social media with the doctors, and it was really sad to hear that they really felt like they were putting themselves at risk to speak at an event. So I
So
just
that really
wanted to
makes
get
it
that out.
all the more important for the rest of us to come together and speak for those who can't, right? We all think that there should be more honesty in all of this stuff, and part of the problem is we don't support those who come forward to be honest, at the risk of their career, right? So it behooves the rest of us to stand up and make some noise.
What are you doing next? I mean, you've got this event. Sounds like it's going to be a hoot and a. I didn't know I was going to have to answer questions. This just got real. But it sounds like it's going
Oh
to be
yes.
a hoot and a holler. What's after this? Like you're doing the event on the 26th, and then it's nice and cold outside. Will there be hot chocolate parties? What's next?
There we're looking forward to more events. Um, the more people that we bring in, the more ideas that we have. We will continue to, we will try and get our name out there more that we're here. Um, because as I said, what we need is people. We need people to come together. So we're hoping that the event will help with that we will have more people signing up with us, questioning us, talking to us, trying to find out what we're doing and how they can be a part of it. We're also interacting with a lot of for an example, Thursday, we will be represented at the rallies going on down at the ledge, and we will be getting our word out there. We've done a lot of that, going to the rallies and talking to people. And I think, I did get word that there were some union presidents that had gone to their reps and said, we want more information on this group. So that's a good sign. Yeah, we just we have to start amassing the masses. That's what we have to start doing. And events like this hopefully are the start of that. We look to the spring for action, for at our event we will be informing people that they have the right, if their MLA has not listened to them, they have the right to a recall. We can walk them through the steps. We can help, hopefully, as Dave said, with the fundraising, with the money that they need to a point. And we hopefully can provide the people that will be needed. So that it's a process, but we're I think we're starting, like we're really hitting the road now, getting the name out there and getting out what we're doing, why we're doing it. I would like to just put something out there. I know that there are a lot of people out there. I see it in our registrations. We used to get messages, letters with our registrations. And really that's what motivated me to keep going. In the beginning, and this is going to seem naive to a lot of people, and it was naive. I'm still naive in some ways, I know that, but I'm learning. I started this group by taking registrations in my DMs on X. That's how I started.
It's called Twitter.
No, okay, Twitter.
It will always be Twitter to me.
Okay. In any case, that was the origin. And I had no idea. I've never been an advocate for anything. And full disclosure, I was, I don't even know if Dave knows this, but I was a conservative all my life. I was brought up conservative, and to my embarrassment, for many years I had not paid attention to politics at all. I really hadn't. But COVID hit, and it made you pay attention. And when I started looking at what the conservatives were, I was horrified. And that's when I started the group. But we started getting, we were probably around 200 to 300 registrations when I got Harvey popped up, and he was a member and offered to do a registration page. Come to IT, forget it. Not, I was still in my DMs. So he did our registration page. I also was very fortunate to have a member of POP, Protect Our Province, pop up in my DMs and say, like, would you want some advice? And I said, come on down. So Brent has been a great origin of advocacy and pointed me in the right direction at times. And we have, like Dave, I've been after Dave for quite some time to come on board, and we've got a fantastic board, people that are working really, really hard. And I mean, we have people on the board that have full-time jobs, have families, and they still spend hours every evening and weekends working for ABR, for Albertans. So we've got I think we've got a really positive group, and I'm really proud of them. They
Well,
work hard.
sounds like you have a lot to be proud of. I'm gonna get to Mr. Gray in just a second here, but I want to just take a sec to highlight one of the things that you mentioned there, because I think it's critically important for people to understand. And we've heard this from many guests that we've had on the show, but again, it's that paying attention versus not paying attention thing. And I think that one of the biggest things that people need to understand is the UCP and its current incarnation is not a conservative party in the vein of what have been conservative parties in Alberta. It's a totally different beast. The policies that the UCP are bringing forward, the leadership, and I'm air quoting that for the audio audience, that the UCP are demonstrating, um, it is not what one would associate historically with what a conservative a principled conservative government in the or party in the province of Alberta would be. I mean, the fact that they I can't believe that I get to say this, but the fact that they revoked the membership of Thomas Lukasik, a former deputy premier, who was obviously doing it in the ways that some people were to take a little bit of the piss out of the party, but the bottom line is there's that brand, the big blue brand of conservatism in Alberta. And because it's been the big, the expression is paint a rock blue, throw it at somebody and they'll vote for it in Alberta. That is not, that doesn't align with where the UCP is taking conservatism, or at least their version of it, and what most Albertans historically would associate with conservatism. And I think a lot of the research from Common Ground that Dr. Jared Wesley and his group have done speaks very strongly to that where the UCP are is not where the majority of Albertans are. So I just wanted to really kind of talk about that for a sec, because I think it's critically important. And I've said this on the show before. I have my family heavily involved in conservative politics in Alberta for years and years and years and years. And obviously, there's a few places where I veered off a little bit, but that's the background. And I have no illusions that both of my grandfathers, who were heavily involved in politics, would be absolutely horrified with what has presented itself as conservatism in the province of Alberta, because it's just not.
Well, it turns out that there's a lot of us who are Republican in name only.
Yeah, there's that too.
I think what we have to keep in mind too is big picture. Take a look across Canada, and that is where the Conservatives are taking people, is the same line as the UCP. Danielle's a little further ahead than everyone else, but that's where it's going.
Well, I hear there's a Premier Higgs who may or may not be out of the job.
Out of a job. It's a Liberal majority.
I'm so hoping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it's done.
Yeah.
BC, we'll see what happens, but New Brunswick is you can put a fork in that one. Mr. Gray, how did you get involved with the Alberta Resistance? What do you want people to take away from this conversation in regards to the Alberta Resistance? Resistance, ABR. I'm so bad at branding.
ABR.
The long and the short of it is that I think there are a large number of people who want a better country and want a way to help make that happen. But political parties don't seem to be the answer anymore. And I think we've all observed that the nature and the ethics of political parties seems to have changed from what it was. That they used to listen, for example. And so there has to be another way. If politics is going to change, well, we need to change with it. And what that means is that we need to be able to counter the information warfare, for example, that we're faced with every day. I mean, in my 60 years on this planet, have never been exposed to full-on propaganda from a government that I helped elect and uses my tax dollars for it. And that's a key thing that we're able to do right now. People may have started to see a lot more content coming out of our AB resistance sites, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, and there'll be considerably more. And this is where we're going to put people to work right in the moment, is countering the false narratives that are being put out in witty ways that catch the attention of the people that aren't paying attention. Right. So we do, I think, have the beginnings of the best meme team in Alberta. Right. And so if people watch American politics, we're hoping to build that into the equivalent of the Lincoln Project type of operation, where we can counter the stuff going out in near real time. And that's the sort of thing that's going to get the attention of those people that aren't paying attention, right? We just need to be well organized and relentless. So I'm trying to bring the well organized. As you can tell, Marg already has the relentless part down.
Well, and it's an interesting thing that you talk about, because I mean, you said that you've in your 60 years, you've never lived in a government that does propaganda. There's no question at this point that the Alberta government is doing propaganda. It's wild to be able to say that. Like it really truly is, without hyperbole. And this is I've had conversations. We've done episodes where we've talked to political scientists and said, "Hey, it feels like the water might be boiling. Is the water boiling, or are we just way too close to this thing?" And when people who have spent their entire professional lives studying politics go, "No, the water's boiling. It's boiling now." That to me is something that needs to be paid very, very close attention to. I mean, the thing, and I like the meme idea, the getting people engaged in different ways idea, because I think one of the things that serves Danielle Smith and the UCP really, really well. Jason Kenney tried to, but he's just not what's the word?
Dishonest enough.
Well, I was going to say relatable, but he tried to do the fireside chats with the premier and all of that. But Jason Kenney's never been an entertainer, whereas Danielle Smith seems to be driven almost entirely by her audience, and she's an entertainer. This is why she does the guest spots with Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson, and this is why she has her radio show. And one of the critiques that we've labeled here is that she is not interested in providing Albertans any kind of leadership. She's interested in making sure that she gets the microphone for the maximum amount of time. And I think one of the things that's also important to highlight as I talk about the fact that we live in a province that legitimately has, like, it's propaganda now. It meets all of the criteria. We also live in a province that is actively rolling back human rights. That's a statement of fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, it's an ugly fact. And it's a small segment of people that are affected. So I think that's part of where a lot of people go, okay, but it's not me. But it doesn't matter. Once you start rolling back human rights on anybody, it's the dominoes go very, very quickly from there. And so the idea that part of what ABR, I got it right, is going to be trying to do is getting more people engaged with politics. Here's the question that I want to ask both of you. Is ABR the
Oh no, what's coming?
I'm gonna rephrase. I had it in one way in my head, but I'm gonna do it another way. If Take Back Alberta is the disease, is ABR the vaccine?
You know what? I really like that.
There we go.
I really like it.
So
we can put
just
that
for
on
one
a poster.
example,
Yeah, that's
how we can vaccinate the province against the evil effects of Take Back Alberta and the 1904 and a half organization, or whatever that new ones they've created. So I understand Mr. Parker is in considerable trouble with his previous third-party advertising, is to just let people know what the slate of candidates are in any given school election or municipal election who are, um, related to the provincial
I
government,
think
right? And
if you may,
that
David, I
group.
think the word you're looking for is batshit.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, People that are batshit adjacent should be, easy to point to.
That's reasonable. All right. So we've got the event on the 26th. Oh, Mark's got her hand. You don't have to put your hand up. What?
Oh. Actually, I usually don't. I just barge in. But I wanted to get back to the leadership aspect of our event, which we didn't cover, and Dave pointed out. The origin of when we sat around talking about doing an event, the consensus was that Alberta is having the UCP are having a leadership event. We have no say. The rest of Alberta has no say. Just as Danielle traveled the province this last summer, speaking to UCP members, revealing policies that were going to come forward. We had no say. We were not invited to the table, and we deserve a seat. So we will be holding a leadership vote at our event. We will have a vote on Danielle Smith's leadership, as well as the new policies coming forward. And so that kind of began the concept of doing this event. And we also will, I must make note of, we will be live streaming. We will be taking votes from all over Alberta.
There we go. Are you going to forward the results to maybe Premier Smith? I don't know. It's been a wild 2.5 weeks. It's going to be another wild 2.5 weeks. Who knows where Danny will be after the second or third?
They will.
Are you going to send them off to the Premier's office?
Yes, definitely. Danielle will get copies. So will every other party get copies.
Yeah, we'll have to send them through another account as I'm still blocked, I believe.
Me too.
No, you can sue for that now.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Mr. Ezra Levant established the precedent that elected officials can't block people. So, not saying, just saying.
President. That the UCP has they don't pay attention to precedent. There's the only precedent is theirs.
You're not wrong there.
And I don't believe I've missed any pertinent information from being blocked by her.
Actually, I have a member of our group who DMs me every post so that I can comment, screenshot, comment. So I'm okay with that.
There you go. But that way you don't have to see all the people replying to Danielle Smith's comments, because let me tell you, the comment section on some of those is a wild ride. Dave, anything else you want people to hear? Anything else you want people to know about ABR, the event? Sky's the limit.
Well, if we want a better country, we need to be better citizens, right? We need people to be more active and engaged, and get your neighbors and your friends active and engaged, because there are things that can be done that can foreshorten this current nightmare.
Okay. Short, sweet, to the point. Love it. Mark, anything else you want to add?
I would like to send a message to Albertans. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are afraid, who feel helpless, and they think they're alone. They're not. We're here. There's a lot of people out there who just aren't paying attention, because thus far, the policies, the rolling back of, as you said, human rights hasn't affected them. But I'm here to tell you that it will. Every policy at some point will affect you, whether it's not being able to access healthcare, whether it's having your child in a school in Calgary sharing a desk. At some point, it's going to affect you. There are also people out there who listened to Danielle Smith's campaign lies and voted for her because of that. And I want to send a message to them. There's no judgment. We're all in this together at this point, and we are here. We have so many different political people from AP, people from conservatives, what used to be conservatives. Our membership is not all left progressive. So I just want people to know that you're not alone, that just, like one click away, and you can be a part of this, a part of changing things. And we're here to support you.
The single largest voting bloc in Alberta is former Conservatives.
I love, Marg, that you included the no judgment piece, because I think that one of the traps that air quotes progressives have a tendency of falling into is somebody goes, wait, what? When they realize something that Smith's done that is either affecting them or somebody that they care about, or, and the response from the progressives is, well, I told you so. And that isn't productive. It doesn't do anything to make people want to get involved. It doesn't do anything to make people feel engaged.
No.
It just makes people feel stupid. And Danielle Smith, I've said this many times, she's an amazing communicator. She's a fantastic, when it comes to the delivery of lies, she's very, very good at it. You have to give her credit for that. I mean,
I just can't. I can't give her credit for anything. I'm sorry. I'm at that point.
Things that I like about Danielle Smith's lies, though, is that while she delivers them very, very well, usually they're so wildly not founded in reality. It's very, very easy to go, oh, that's bullshit. So she's very, very good with the script, as a former deputy premier would probably say. I just wanted to fact check something there. You said AP people. Are there still Alberta Party people out there?
Oh, there are. Yes, there are. We have different parties represented on our board. We have people that we have to protect their privacy.
Oh, we get that.
Yeah,
wanted to make an
because of where they work.
That's fair.
Say that. Yeah, there are people from all walks, and that's what I want people to know too. Like I said, I think people that did vote UCP and are seeing what's happening might have a tendency to just step back, and because maybe they do feel like they were taken. And that's not a good thing or an easy thing to admit or to. Anyway, I want them to know that we're here, and we're not judging.
People that are out in other groups that would like to, explore being an ally with our organization and what we can do for them, just reach out to us directly. Either info@abresistance.ca or online, any of our social media accounts, or Marg or myself.
That was the next question I was going to ask. So what are all the socials? Where do people get in touch if they've heard something tonight that makes them go, "Oh, that sounds like something I might want to give a try." Where do they find?
So on Twitter/X, it's AB_resistance. The website is abresistance.ca. And on Facebook, I think it's AB Resistance as well, although I'm going off the top of my head on that.
Mhm.
Cool. Anything else either of you want to add?
You're all invited, Alberta. You're all invited, and I hope
I'll be bringing at least
to
one.
see you all there. It can be a beginning for a lot of people, and a place to find a home where they can feel like they can make a difference. And you can make a difference.
You can make a difference.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would add one thing just on a technical note. We are bringing in air scrubbers for the event, but we would also recommend that people sitting in the audience wear masks. We're going to have tables rather than tightly packed chairs, but as we do follow the medical statistics, we realize that COVID is not over and want to be as safe as possible.
There will also be KN95 masks available for anyone who forgot to bring their mask and wishes to wear one. So we're very cognizant of what's going on around us too.
Perfect. All right. Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking the time to sit down and chat. The event is on October 26th. And yeah, I guess we'll see you there.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, be there or be.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nate.
All right.
Nate Pike, always a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah.
you both so much.
And that's it for another episode of The Breakdown. As always, if you appreciate the kind of content that we're trying to produce here, we would love nothing more than if you thought about signing up to be one of our Patreon sponsors at www.patreon.com/thebreakdownab, where for just the price of a fancy cup of coffee a month, you can help us continue to produce this kind of content. Whether you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, in which case, maybe leave a review and a rating, or whether you're watching it on one of our streaming platforms, we want to say a big thank you to everybody who is part of the Breakdown's audience. And as always, take care of each other and keep the conversation going.